Hi, kindergartners. It's time for our reading station. So you're going to need 2 worksheets from your blue folder. The first worksheet you're going to need is the E handwriting page. See the egg on the top? Good. The second page you're going to need is the beginning sounds page. It looks familiar, doesn't it? Because we've done the same type of activity but with different letters. Well, boys and girls, today we're going to talk about the letter E. And letter E is a vowel. Remember the Eskimo that we saw? In my opinion, E is one of the hardest sounds for us to make because it's so close to the A and the I. It just feels like it's somewhere in between. I thought we would start today by first seeing what the letter E looks like. You see my poster here? This is kind of cool. It's a nice fuzzy E and I can trace it with my finger. Here's the capital E. Here's lowercase e. Now, lowercase e goes straight, curves around, but then stops before it connects again. That's how you make the lowercase e. I'm going to read you this silly poem, and as I read this poem, I want you to be on the lookout for lots and lots of both capital and lowercase e's. Watch how my finger goes from the left to the right. When I get to the end, it goes back down to the next row. Here we go. Egbert the elephant eats eggshells and eels. Egbert the elephant eats elastic and wheels. Enormous enchiladas, engines big and small. Egbert the elephant gobbles up them all. Oh, Egbert, you certainly are an exciting elephant. Yes, he does lots of interesting things. Do you see all the things that Egbert eats? All right, I have a question for you. Did you notice any rhyming words? Let me read the first part of the poem again, and you see if you can find a rhyming pair. Egbert the elephant eats eggshells and eels. Egbert the elephant eats elastic and wheels. Did any of those words sound alike at the end? It's kind of tough, isn't it? Nick, did you notice any? This word eels and this word wheels. Can you see if you look closely how eels is hidden inside of wheels? They have the same ending sound, don't they? All right, well, eels sounds like wheels, so we call it a rhyme. Let me read the second part of the poem and see if you can find another pair of rhyming words. Enormous enchiladas, engines big and small. Egbert the elephant gobbles up them all. Did you find the other rhyming pair in there? All right, what did you find? Logan, see? Okay, here's the word small. And here's the word all. The word all is hidden inside of small. You know that all and small are rhyming words. They sound alike. Did you see all the different E's hidden in this poem? They're all over the place. Speaking of poems, I have a couple more I'd like to share with you. Oh, you know what? I put it inside there and then I didn't take it out the way I planned to, so now I have to look for it again. Here it is. All right. This is a very silly nursery rhyme. It's one that maybe you're not as familiar with. I didn't know this one till I was a little bit older. It's called Wee Willie Winky. Are you ready? Here we go. Wee Willie Winky runs through the town, upstairs, downstairs, in his nightgown, rapping at the window, crying through the lock. Are the children in their beds? For now it's 8 o'clock. It's kind of a fun rhyme, isn't it? I noticed words in here like town and gown. Do you know what a nightgown is? We might be more used to seeing our moms wear a nightgown, but back in the olden days, it wasn't uncommon. A gentleman might wear a nightgown too, a sleeping gown. So that's why, yeah, Willie's got a nightgown. It's not like a fancy frilly one or anything. It's just like covers him up and it's cozy. All right, how about this word? Lock o'clock. See, rhymes do make things fun to hear, don't they? It's like a little treat for your ear. Well, the reason why I chose this poem was because of the sound and the title. Listen. Wee, Willie, Winky. Do you hear all those long E sounds? Wee, E, Willie, E, Winky. Yeah, those are all long vowels. Long vowel E. Now I know I talk much more about short vowels because I think short vowels are trickier. So we do see short E in the word beds. B-e-s. B-e-d-s. Yeah, it was in the middle there. Let me read this to you one more time, and you listen for the rhyme and think about the poem. Wee Willie Winky runs through the town, upstairs, downstairs, in his nightgown, rapping at the windows, crying through the lock. Are the children in their beds? For now it's 8 o'clock. I wish my children were in their beds by 8 o'clock. Are you in your bed by 8 o'clock? Maybe you're getting there now, especially getting ready to get dressed and come to school if you're going to be one of my morning kids, right? Hey, what does this mean, crying through the lock? He doesn't look sad to me. Why did they say crying? You're right. It's not the boo-hoo, I'm so sad kind of cry. When you cry something out, you say it out loud. You may have heard of the phrase a town crier, a person who would yell out a message. It means he's yelling out the message. Are the children in their beds? For now it's 8 o'clock. So he's shouting it out. He's using a loud voice for that. Rapping at the windows, you know what that means? Let me rap at my window, like right now. Let's see if you can hear it. Yeah. Rapping means knocking at the window. It's not like the rap songs. No, it's not a song about rapping. It's about making that sound. All right, boys and girls, it seems like I had one more poem marked. Oh yeah, it was this one. It's one of my very favorites. It's one of my favorites for a personal reason because it's about Mary who wore her red dress. And I think I told you my oldest daughter's name is Mary. So we used to sing this one, but a lot of times we'd change it. Instead of saying Mary wore her red dress, we would change it to whatever Mary was wearing. And it was usually purple. It was one of her favorite colors. I know Lillian's talked about the color purple before. Maybe she likes that one too. Well, listen to how this one goes. Mary wore her red dress. That's the title. Mary wore her red dress. Red dress, red dress. Mary wore her red dress all day long. I almost want to sing it because we used to sing it. We had a little tape. Did you sing it before too? Yeah? Maybe your parents changed it to your name. Maybe they said something like, Kylie wore her red dress, red dress, red dress. Kylie wore her red dress all day long. But maybe they had to change what you wore because maybe it was Hunter wore his blue jeans, blue jeans, blue jeans. Hunter wore his blue jeans all day long. Well, we've got to change it back to red dress for a minute because then you can figure out why I chose this poem other than I like it. I'll give you a hint. D. Did you hear it? D. It was the short E in the middle. Now let's try this trickier one. S. S. Yeah, each time we heard the F. And what do we call that? We call it the short E. Very good, boys and girls. Well, on this paper, you're going to get some practice tracing both your capital E and your lowercase e. Let's do a couple of those. So when we make the capital E, I kind of do it like I do the number 5s. I like to start and go back, down, and then forward again. And then I like to make the middle. Some people may do it this way. They might make a straight line down and then put 3 little prongs on it. You can do that. It's not like it's that big of a deal. I just know that sometimes we get more of the flow when we don't have to pick up our pencil as many times. So I like to do it that way. But if you go a straight line down, with 3 little flaps, you're going to be good. It's going to work. Lowercase e, it's tricky because of where it starts. It starts in between the bottom and the middle line. So in the middle. Yeah, it's in the middle, below the middle. Imagine that. You're going to do a straight line, curve up, go around, and then up. See how I did that? Let me try again. Go straight up, around, and down. Yeah, I like this one a little bit better because I had more time to practice it. Well, I don't want you to rush. You can go back and practice this later. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the short E sound. You know what this is? This is what I like to call like a catching basket or an organization basket. Sometimes I call it a sorting basket because we use it when we're going to sort things. Well, when we get to school, we're going to have, well, not as many boys and girls as usual, but more than you have at home most likely. And so when we cut things out, it's important that we learn to keep track of them. So I'm cutting off my scrap, and I'm setting my scrap in a separate area. But then, as I cut apart these little cards, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my little stamps, sometimes I call these stamps, right into this sorting basket, just like that. That one's kind of, I'm going to cut these separately because they're a little bit off. And see, they're falling right into the basket. That way, I'm less likely to lose one of them. See, if someone walks by and they shift, they're still in the basket. They don't just blow off the table. And then I can reach in and find them. Maybe you already do that at your house. Maybe you've been putting it in a little bowl or a little container. Okay, then you're going to be ready. All right, well, we're going to sound out the words on these pictures, and then we're going to sort them. If they start with short E, they're going to go in this row. If they do not, they're going to go at the bottom. See how there's an X on that E? Here we go. Envelope. There it is. There's the short E. I'm going to put it there. How about a cake? Where should I put the cake? Definitely not by the E because I heard the k. So I'm going to lay it down there. Oh, here's one. Maybe you've eaten one of these before. I can't say that I've ever eaten one. This is called an eggplant. I know, I'm kind of saying it strangely. A lot of times we say egg, like a long A, but if we say eggplant, it's easier to remember that it starts with short E. How about this one? We've got a fish. Wah, wah, wah. That is not an E. That goes down here. All right, how about the, oh, this one's cute. How about the duck? Now, that can't go by the E. We already know that starts with a D, don't we? How about the axe? Short A, so that has to go on the bottom. I hope we get some soon that start with an E. Let's try this one. Elephant. There we go. There's a short E. Oh, yeah, and we talked about the egg already, didn't we? Egg. That's another E word, even though the way we pronounce it sometimes sounds like an A. Now, boys and girls, you could glue those down. That way they won't fall all over the place at home. And your parents will know that you're finished with it. Don't forget to trace capital E, lowercase e. Capital E, lowercase e. All right, boys and girls, you've done a fine job of practicing the letter E with me. We heard the long sound, E, and we really focused on the short sound, Excellent job for today.